Before I start with any question, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everybody being here today, but more importantly, just all year, your guys' professionalism. And, I know sometimes you have a tough job and you have to ask tough questions, but the professionalism in this room, I just really appreciate it. I just want to thank you guys for a great year, across the board from beginning to end. It means a lot to me, it means a lot to the program, and so just want to take that opportunity to say thank you guys.
You're welcome. We'll open up questions, front row, middle. Dave?
Yeah, thanks for saying that. It's very nice of you. You guys use the one high safety and the three corners mostly for your starting secondary. Is that kind of your defensive philosophy moving forward, regardless of who the new coach is? Is that how you want to do it moving forward?
Yeah, that's kind of our base, and we definitely can get to a two-eye look, and we will. We're gonna diversify a little bit more this year, but certainly we don't want to change our philosophy. We kind of built that this year. We thought we made some great strides there. Certainly not perfect, but we're gonna keep the structure of what it is now, but we're gonna diversify a little bit as we move forward.
And just a couple more quick ones. Jeff Hafley was in the box. Greg Madison was on the field. I know it's early, but will the new coach likely be in the box? Greg on the field, or?
Yeah, we haven't hired anybody yet, and once we go about the business of hiring somebody, we'll kind of figure all that out.
Okay. And then just a quick recruiting question: is the plan for the 2020 class to get one more running back as you stand here right now? Or?
The numbers are pretty tight right now, so probably not, but we'll kind of see how things go.
Thank you.
Third row left. Dan?
Ryan, the hiring of Corey Dennis coming in and choosing him as Mike Yurst's replacement, how important was the familiarity and him being a part of this staff already in terms of making that hire?
Really important. Since I've got here, Corey's kind of been my right-hand man, and he's kind of right from the beginning, from when I got off the plane that first time. We were kind of together, and we've spent a lot of time in that meeting room together, and he knows exactly how we teach things. And he's got a tremendous relationship with quarterbacks here. He's done a good job of recruiting. He's been, had a hand in a lot of stuff, and so. I feel great with not only the fact that he can teach the way we teach it, but also we need some continuity in that room. And Corey's a young coach who's got a really bright future, and I think everything that you put into Corey, you're going to get back and invest because he's so bright. But when I got in here, and then Mike came in, and so now this is the third guy in really 3 years, and I really want to solidify that room and. Have some stability in there, so I think that was critical too, because I know Corey, is invested in Ohio State and his family. So when you combine all of those things together, I thought it was a great hire.
There were reports that he was going to go to Colorado State in December. Was that something that changed at the last minute with that job opening up?
Yeah, I think he had an opportunity to go there as well, and all things kind of happen fast as they do in December and January in the coaching world, and so I even believe maybe he was up in Colorado at one point, and he came back to Ohio. So. I know it was very exciting for he and his family, and he was really excited to get back to Columbus.
I just want to ask you about Justin as well. Obviously, he's coming off the knee injury. As he's going into these off-season workouts, do you guys place any restrictions on him? Are you cautious with him at all as he's going into these workouts?
Yeah, I mean, if his knee is still there as we start kind of into the running phase of things, then we'll be smart about it. But we're hoping that by the time we get to that point, he's rehabbed and he's 100%.
Over to the right. Clay?
You've been nice enough to talk about Joe Burrow all season, and now that he's won it, I'm just curious if you had any contact and just what your feeling is for him. And the follow-up, I'll go ahead. Was there any thought about what might have been had he stayed?
Yeah, we talked to Joe, several times, obviously on the award circuit, and stay in touch with Joe, and then obviously talked to him after the game and just congratulated him and how happy we were for him. It was just great to see the way he played, and just the way he handled himself all year was awesome. Really cool moment to be there at the Heisman and be there with his family and just see him win that job and overcome so many different things. And in this world, think about the guys we had in that room. It's just amazing, and you do the best you can. You try to make the best decisions you can at the time. And when you think about Joe Burrow, Dwayne Haskins, and Justin Fields, wow, what a problem to have. And they've all done really well. One's in the NFL, one's a Heisman Trophy winner, and one's a Heisman Trophy finalist in his first year really of playing college football. So, again, nothing but the utmost respect for Joe and just happy the way that things played out. And it's hard to see somebody who, leaves the program, graduates and everything, go on to do something like that. But I think everybody understands you got to make tough decisions. And, we're obviously happy with the decisions we made, but at the same time, it's great to see Joe go on and play so well.
Was that you and Urban making that call?
Yeah.
Front row left, Mitch.
Ryan, you lost one game, pretty great season, but still, one game from your goal. I'm interested in how you regard the season looking back. I mean, was it unsuccessful because you didn't get where you wanted to be, or do you look at the body of work?
I think it was a successful season for sure. I just think that in the first year of this coaching staff, and first year quarterback, and all the different things that came in, all the defensive staff, there was so many positive things in the way that we played. And certainly we didn't reach all of our goals though, and that's something we got right back in here this past week and talked about. And, they're hungry, and this team's going to be hungry. Turned around. It's obviously fresh off the loss, and that was a tough game to swallow. But we're already moved on, looking towards the future. But I think that the groundwork has been laid moving forward, and I think there's a lot of credibility now, and I think there's some real good leadership there. And these guys have tasted it now. They've been in that semifinals here. Some of the guys, some of the younger guys, and so I think they're just going to be hungry moving forward as we get into next season.
So, as a first-year head coach, grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know how to do that. But again, I mean, when you go 13-1 and you win your conference championship, you win the rivalry game, that's a hell of a season now. I mean, that doesn't matter where you are. It's a hell of a season. But, again, we didn't reach all of our goals, and so that keeps us wanting more.
Second row right, Tony.
Ryan, heading into the spring, what's your biggest concern for the team right now?
I don't know if it's a concern. I think as we get going and we start to practice and go through workouts, we want to find out who the new leaders are going to be. We lost some really good leaders, and some guys who declared for the draft. Those were big leaders for us, and so we're going to need some guys to step up into those roles. And as we start to practice, I think we'll get a feel for what we need. Obviously, in the running back room, those guys are going to be pretty green. Master played some this year, but we're going to have to replace J.K. In the back end there, we're losing some really good players there with Jordan, Damon, and Jeff leaving. So some corners are going to have to step up. But that's college football. I mean, you're always going to have turnover. But the good news is a lot of our guys played. In those first 11 games, those guys were all playing in the second half. So there's a lot of experience there. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to our leadership and how our guys lead and how hungry and accountable our guys are.
Do you pull certain guys aside and tell them, this is what we need from you this year?
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of meetings.
Fourth row right, Jared.
Ryan, two things. First, after the game in Glendale, you came out, obviously, right after the game, and you said, I feel a lot of emotions right now, including anger. Is there a part of you that's still angry?
No, I've moved on from the anger part of it. Obviously, when you're a competitor like that, it's hard to lose in a game of that magnitude, and you feel like you played really, really well, but when you watch the film, we came up short in certain areas. We didn't do well early on in the red zone. We gave up that 4-play drive, inside the 7-yard line late in the game, and then we didn't finish the drive, with the last play of the game. And so you look at those moments. There were a lot of great moments. We came out and played really well early on. We established the run. We hit that big, 4th and 1 to Chris for the touchdown. I mean, there's so many good plays. The roughing of the punter was a huge mistake that we made, but. When you're playing in big games and the margin for error is tiny, that's what happens. And so, yeah, we've I don't know if we've moved on yet. I don't think that's probably the word, but it's still kind of sitting there, and we're thinking about it a lot, and it's going to keep motivating us moving forward. But at some point, you do have to take the next step.
The other thing is about the next step into next year. In your own evaluation of your performance, a first full season as a head coach, are there already things that you can now look at and say you will do differently in year 2? Are there already things that you say maybe we alter our approach slightly?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, one of the things that's the art of coaching, especially in college, is that it changes week to week, month to month, but certainly year to year. I mean, this team is going to be completely different than the last team. This staff is going to be completely different than the last staff. And so there are a lot of things after the first year, once you've established the culture as a new coaching staff, year 2 is different. And that's the journey we're on. And I think, again, one of the best things about adapting and being a good college football coach is the ability to move and adjust and talk about those things on a week-to-week basis. What we think right now, maybe the best thing in 2 months might not be. I'm interested to see how our guys work in the weight room with Coach Mick and where's the leadership headed. And there's a lot of things that come into play. We have 15 mid-year guys that just showed up into the team. That's a big chunk of our team. How are they going to get meshed into the team and the fabric of our culture? And those are all things that are coming, and that's the fun part of the journey.
Second row left, Bill?